The large particle accelerator.
Just kicked me out. Like, damn, that was crazy. Like, I'm back though. Hold on. Now, I don't know why early this morning I'm having these issues. So maybe it's the stream that I am talking about. I'm not really sure, but very strange. Let's get back to it. I'm not playing no games with just trying to get this out. I got a lot of stuff going on. I really didn't even have time to do this live, but I think it's important for people to realize what's really going on. We talk about these things all the time. People are aware of it, but knowing that what these people are doing tomorrow, tomorrow, I'm gonna get to the next video. You're gonna get a better understanding of it. I'm gonna drop the link in case anyone wants to jump up. This is definitely an open discussion with what's going on here, and I'm not gonna play this entire video, but I want you guys to see the power of CERN and whether people think it has the power to make any type of difference in our environment based off the smashing of atoms. The same thing, neutrons, protons, everything they played with is the same thing that is the components of your body. So keep that in mind. Hold on, please.
It's been a long time. Been working on for more than 15 years.
Just come up with a story that sounds good. Okay, hold on, guys. Let's do this. I'm about to switch to the next video. This is gonna give you a better explanation to the reality of some of this stuff, right? So hold on 1 second. Because yeah, all this nonsense with these people playing around with things. If you guys have ever heard of Stephen Hawking, he's deceased now, but he was a scientist that was considered very intelligent. There was a point in time where they were starting and they were actually smashing the particles. And during this time, he gave them specific warnings because at that time, there started to be certain activities. There was a college, I can't remember the name, guys. I'm so sorry that I'm bad with names, but if you do some research, I'm sure you can find it. There's an actual college, right? And in the college, right, the activity was so huge, like there was so much activity going on that they were experiencing all type of like demonic entities coming around. People were having like what do you call it? Like when they had those ghost people come to the house. I can't recall right now, but when they have those people come to the house, they do those type of researches and all of that. So they were having all these different things going on. They had all these people come to the college. They were checking, trying to see what was going on. They thought people were having like mental health issues. They didn't know what was going on. It was happening so abruptly. Come to find out, there was a hidden. Hold on a second. There was a hidden. Sorry, I had to go somewhere else to get that video. So now I have to find the other one. So there was like a hidden accelerator in the basement in one of the colleges. They didn't even know. They just put it there. They didn't tell these people anything about it being there. All of a sudden, they started having all this weird stuff going on. And at that time, it was just, let's see. Oh, yeah, I'm getting distracted trying to find this for you. At that time, it was getting to be so weird. They didn't know what was going on. After running and checking everything, they came to find out that it was actually the collider. So once they removed it from the college in the area, everything that they were having issues with just ceased. Like there was no more issues. Just all of a sudden, everything's fine once the removal of the collider happened. That in itself is not so much strange because we know when there's certain things going on, certain energies going on, it's going to create a certain portal or frequency to be in the area. So they were actually just, experiencing those things. So let me see if I can find this other video so you guys can hear from the information of the Stephen Hawking guy. It's taking a minute. Where was that? Let's see. If I can actually. Let's see. All right, let's see. Took it right out my library. That's crazy. Oh my God, I gotta go try to find it now because obviously I'm gonna just play a little bit of it because it's not allowing me to. For some reason, I can't even get to it. So last time I'm gonna do this. If not, we're just gonna listen to it. If you open it up, not. Nobody got to probably celebrating this so-called holiday. So I hope that's the case. It's understandable, but let's see. Nope, it's not there, guys. I'm gonna definitely have to play this for you because I want you guys to hear this information. So we're gonna just listen to this real quick. And actually, you know what? I can switch my account and go. Let me switch accounts. Maybe I can put it in the other account because that's probably the issue. Let's get to it. Over here. This is definitely the last place. I don't want to hold you up too much longer because it should be here. And I want to make sure you guys get this information I'm talking about. Okay, let's see. And it's here. This is the wrong one. Alright, guys.
Now let that settle in. This man is.
Just listen. These two.
God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And God said, let there be light. And there was light.
This is what they're doing with the collider. Imitation. Damn, why this video won't show? This pisses me off.
Our physical reality is a shadow of a larger reality. And I was blown away when I first saw that, because that's exactly what the Bible's been saying all along. Einstein made scientific history by recognizing that we really live in 4 dimensions by adding time to the mix. Time is a physical property. We know that we live in at least 10. That's the current dimensions. 4 of them are directly, we can experience them. But we know there's 6 others that we can't get at directly, but we know we can infer their existence mathematically. What makes that provocative to people who've discovered that is that a Hebrew sage by the name of Nachmanides,
Hey sis, Grandis, darling.
He concluded that our universe has 10 dimensions, only 4 are knowable, to use his term, and 6 are not knowable to us. And I find that fascinating because we've spent hundreds of millions of dollars on atomic accelerators to discover what Nachmanides did by studying the text. So the 10, some say 11, there's no mathematical details. Awareness advanced scientific community that we live in more than just the 4 dimensions that we directly experience. And when God declares war because of the fall of man, the creation was made subject to the bondage of decay. The integral, apparently, were somehow tied to God's curse on the creation. Everything we know about the creation is post-curse. Prior to the curse, it may have had dimensions as the domain of things like angels, the domain of paranormal behavior.
So the book of Revelation opens up the future for us. So in Revelation chapter verse 1, the thing, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit, a great furnace. The sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth.
Come
That
on,
is,
let's get to it.
Whose name in the Hebrew is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. Woe, one woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes while you're sitting in this auditorium.
So in Revelation chapter 1, locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power.
Large Hadron Collider, and it is an accelerator. It accelerates particles and then brings them to the point of collision. So this Large Hadron Collider was started up just a few days ago, and it's still in the initial process of being brought online completely. You say, what in the world is something like that?
Something like that has a lot to do with you and I. I cannot and will not attempt to speak as a physicist. It would make me look like a fool. My purpose this morning is to try to be a liaison between them and you. It's try to take what's going on in the collider and break it down to where I can understand it. I can give it out so you can understand it. It makes an application life and to the world as we know it today. For what is happening in that collider is an assumption. So I want something this morning from what is well known throughout the world. Anyone that has anything to do with any man at some rate even on the level of Einstein. And now in CERN, Switzerland. Listen carefully. These are the words of Stephen Hawking.
Einstein was retarded as a child. They labeled him
CERN's Large Hadron Collider could pose grave dangers to our planet. The ultimate reality has come straight out of the particle, and this is what you've heard referred to time and again as the Higgs boson particle. The God particle could destroy the universe. Now let that settle in. This man is an atheist, and he says there is no God. Yet he says that it's happening now in Switzerland, what they're
playing with me. Here we go, y'all. I think that was a little commercial. Trying to kick me out. Hold on, though.
Switzerland, and I'll give you what they're trying to do in a moment. What's happening at this very minute in CERN, Switzerland, has the potential to destroy the universe. This is a theoretical physicist. Now, physicists come in all kinds of sizes. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson has also sounded the alarm in a hypothetical manner by telling anyone who might want to blow up to do so is this CERN's attempt to do by attempting to recreate the Big within a man-made structure. This is frightened Stephen Hawking so much.
The Big Bang.
They know.
Now, when you guys hear this, right? And they keep talking about this, the Big Bang Theory. We know that's a bunch of crap. Let's keep that in mind. Let's hope you guys are aware of that. Now, when we're thinking about the Big Bang Theory, that's like literally what happens in your mom's womb. The creation of life is the Big Bang Theory in all reality. We're not talking about fiction. We're not talking about the Matrix. We're not talking about any of that shit that doesn't apply to true life. We're talking about the actual foundation of life, the coming together of protons, neutrons, and electrons. This is exactly what they're simulating. When you're thinking about the CERN, everything we listened to in the first video is telling you, literally, bring together the proton. We put a certain amount of protons, neutrons. This is all alchemy, guys. Oh my gosh, I got to do this alchemy video. I have so much going on in my life, guys. This is such an important video. I've not had time to look into actually literally getting it together. But when I do, gosh, guys, this, man, when I say the humidity up here, the pollen, everything is so disgusting. There's so much going on in the air, man. I can barely breathe sometimes, but I'm gonna make it through because I'm gonna try to get this. So in all actuality, the so-called bang that happens in your body, they're imitating. Obviously, we know there's always the GMO form of what's going on, trying to duplicate what is original, what is founded in nature and from the environment as far as a natural supplement. So the proton, neutron, and electrons is what they're using to try to make the smashing of these bonds and trying to recreate. So now when doing something in the artificial nature, there's something going to be up when it comes to the alchemy process. They've done this many times before. There have been so many different things that they've done to create the alchemy process, from test tubes, from incubator babies, the alchemy in itself, actually showing the creation of life when there were certain things that had been created during those times. excuse me, guys. When thinking about that, we have to remember the death. And you know what? I was thinking that, sis. I said, I wonder if it's some mold in here because it's sure it's so the vents are dark. Like I'm always cleaning them. I bought like mad dusters and I'm always cleaning them. They came. I told them they needed to clean the vents out or have somebody come clean the air ducts out. I know at my house I would have them come and they would use this vacuum suction thing and clean it out. They've never done that since I've been here, so that is definitely a possibility because this is like ridiculous. It's gotten worse and worse since I've been here. But I don't want to hold you guys so long. I got so much going on today, but I definitely want you guys to get this. There's another video we're going to have to listen to for you guys to really get it. That's going to get more into detail about what's going on tomorrow and what they're doing. They've made an announcement in the scientific world. I'm not sure if you guys are very aware of it, but they definitely will be smashing the largest amount of Hadron Collider particles tomorrow. So this is like really a big deal, you know. Yeah. Listen if you like. Check it out.
What they are doing. Ask yourself. G. Neil deGrasse Tyson told co-host Eugene Merman on his Star. Then you put it will explode. I've got attention. I've quoted two physicists. These are scientists. These men do not agree with what's happening. There is a 17-mile that lies 300 feet. Area is where France and Switzerland come together. So part of this acceleration, United States of America is there as, but the brain where they're going in to this experimentation originates in Europe. They are attempting to recreate what they believe happened that brought all of this into existence as being the Big Bang. Now, you and I know from the book of Genesis, chapter number 1, that in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. He spoke it into existence. They are finding things, and this is what's important for us to understand today. They are discovering things that they did not expect to discover as they get deeper and deeper into this experimentation and development and research and so forth. They are beginning to given thought to before. There's on here that boggles the human mind. That literally
Closely.
when we even comprehend.
Pay attention.
Happening. This 17-mile long underground tube that is located there in Switzerland has, I think, 4 or 5 different points where they collide with, some say, protons and maybe something else, but particles that are being moved at or above the speed of light in collider. Now there's in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And apparently, they are able to get deeper into what they're looking for. The very building blocks.
Plasma light. The only thing that can move at the speed.
So you start nails, but instead you find glue. That's because find one hard shape, because you see the glue glues the things together, it hardens, solidifies. You know what the glue was like. Learn through this to go back to that point to where separate and find out what this was like then. And by doing that, of course, they can build on the information and knowledge that they attain. Now, what's going to follow in the message this morning is the implications of what's going on. But let are happening. Phenomena, they like to call it. Apparition, all kinds of in like to call it apparitions, ghosts, all kinds of themselves in ways. Here we have in Cern, Switzerland, a huge, inside that wheel is a Hindu god, Shiva. He does a dance of destruction inside that wheel, and his purpose is he is one of the triad gods, one of the greatest gods of Hinduism. Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma. Brahma is the god of creation. Vishnu is the god of Shiva is the god of destruction. The way the Hindu sees it is that when Shiva, he destroys so that Brahma can come and recreate. So now when the Hindu, since they're scientists to CERN, they put this out there in front. And so what these people are doing with the collider is destroying what comes together, but for the purpose of recreating and find out what brought it into existence to begin with. Are you following me? Now, here we have men that are scientists, an average of an IQ of anywhere from 160 to 200. These are some of the smartest brains of the world. No question about it whatsoever. I pick up physicists and try to read some of this stuff. I think, didn't I? Forget it. That's for a brain that is that way. No question. When Darwin's theory of evolution came out, that destroyed told when
Okay, bro, I'm trying to play around with it a little bit. I'm pausing it because it like keeps trying to kick me out the studio again. It kicked me out twice. I don't know if you're in here, but yeah, it want to kick me out again, then it keeps stopping it. I had to go back to it, blah. We're gonna do. Hopefully, it looks like it's stable now. I'm gonna start it back again. Hold on.
are definitely being connected with Shiva as their collisions. When they collided these particles together, they saw things. They were, but they could not explain. Then his pencil, it's out the window. They don't understand. They have a hard spirit world was created by a spirit being. An almighty, eternal enemy of God, and by the power of the new birth. But a scientist like that will never admit that. But
now, keeping in mind, guys, he keep talking about the spirit being. We know what that is, the Almighty One in all in us, the one in all in us. Come on now, wake up, like get y'all head up, like out the clouds, and make yourself a part of it. Like literally, shit, I can't make it no simpler than that. I don't know how to talk to some of these people. My interpretation of things always different. People always got to find an issue or something wrong with what's going on with what I'm saying when it comes to this stuff when I'm just speaking my facts. But yeah, check this out. We're talking about everything that is the one and all, the all in us. We are it. It is us, all in the same. And there's the meat and bones of this. Take the religious aspect of what he's saying out of it and listen to it in your understanding. Right, spirit is definitely your breath. Our soul is literally us. The spirit realm is a leniency between both worlds, basically. It's a leeway, it's a portal. You know, you can go on either side, you know, when it comes to just operating out of your spirit or you're operating out of self, the true self, the soul, which is a part of the you, nine-verse, you, water in motion, energy, light, power, energy. And it's all the same thing. So it's like so hard for people to get it if they're not like really hearing it. You have to have the ear to hear. Let's continue.
because that takes it out of his control and his power. He's got to be able to demonstrate his theory and put it into motion. But anyway, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to leave this with you. I want you to think about what I'm saying. Stephen Hawking, and a theoretical physicist, has warned these people, you are about, and when you open Pandora's box, you cannot put back in what came out of that box. It's about some of the stuff. I'm going to lay a foundation for you to get you to understand what we're dealing with. So the house, you take it apart and you see the glue and you find it in its hardened state, and then you want to find what can I do to bring this back to its original state, and then what can I learn from that? So you've got to be able to take it back. You've got to be able to go back. You've got to move through time. That's what you're doing. You're moving through time. This is what it's about. They want to know what that matter was like before it came into its present form. They must determine what holds it together. They must break down the element and see what holds it together. Folks, if you know your Bible, you know what's holding it together.
Fabric, the true nature
Does all hold or withhold, upholded
the
by
true
the word
fiber
of his
optic
power.
network.
A word is a
This is what
spiritual
he's
thing.
talking about.
You can never put it under a microscope, but it's real. Who sealed you until the day of redemption? The Holy Ghost. Who put life inside your soul, where your heart is set on fire when you read his word and pray? The Holy Ghost. Who in this house would deny this morning the reality of a spirit being that saved you and wrote your name in the Lamb's Book of Life and indwells you right now? But they want to know. They want to find out. CERN allows them to examine particles in their initial state, not after it's bonded together. So what has come from CERN? Now listen carefully to what I'm going to say to you. This is not exhaustive, but this is what I've gotten so far. What has come out of this? They have a list of their accomplishments, their achievements, and all of that. That's all well and good. But one thing for certain is what's called antimatter. How many's ever heard of antimatter? Antimatter. Now, if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago what antimatter was, I'd have said, well, it's matter, it's against matter. Didn't have a clue. I wouldn't know where to start, where to end, where I was if I got there. Let me tell you what antimatter, some of the characteristics of it. There are those that believe that for everything in the universe that is matter, that there is a corresponding antimatter. Corresponding. That there's a connection between the two. That matter, for example, take a piece of wood. It's matter. This is matter. This is matter. Matter. It's something physical or it's something real, all right? If you act upon it, matter, it can burn wood, for example. You've acted upon it, but you've had to act upon it. You've had to do something to cause the wood to burn. Antimatter, on the other hand, is a very unstable thing that does not need to be acted on. Unless you do something to contain it, it's going to burn. It's very volatile, and it is very, very, very uncertain as to what all it's capable of doing. Antimatter is a product of this experimentation in CERN, Switzerland. Antimatter is coming from it. Antimatter is so powerful that one man says that one grain of antimatter is the equivalent of 4 atomic bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima. I got on the internet and did a little research, and I found out that they call it Little Boy, the first bomb that was dropped on.
More importantly, that this antimatter is in the pit of your spine. People that are idiotic that say melanin, they call it melanin. When you mail something, you're shipping something in. Melanin, which is inside of your spine, the pit of your spine, down in the base or the lower chakra area. This is the black atomic energy that is in the pit of your spine. That is the climbing of Jacob's ladder. You hear people talk about climbing Jacob's ladders, used a lot in religious aspects, so on and so forth. The DNA, you've heard the stories of, I believe it's Joseph or Jacob seeing the DNA in the sky, actually seeing the formation, the color, showing him, and able to give him the information of climbing Jacob's ladder, which is the DNA on the system. Now, that being in the pit of the spine, we talked many times. I've informed you guys on the Christos, that oil, that is the oil, that is the atomic energy, the most powerful substance. So this is what he's actually like talking about. I just want to make sure you guys are getting that portion just a moment.
Nagasaki. I thought, what was in that bomb? What exploded? You know, we understand nuclear fission and all these other big terms. We understand some kind of a nuclear reaction took place. Everybody knows that, right? Some kind of a nuclear reaction took place. Well, then I got to digging a little deeper and I said, now, what was in there? And from what I can find out, it was no more than from 9 to 13 grams of something inside their matter that exploded. And so I have to understand their scale. What are you talking about? You're talking about a handful? It doesn't sound like much to me, does it? In other words, the bomb that exploded at Hiroshima, when they split the atom, when they released the energy from the atom by the process they used, are you telling me that there was no more there? Full? I understand all that. But I some of these research, it'll get, if you look on Wikipedia and some of these research, it'll say matter. analysis that they're bringing in these spirit beings. It'll make true believers out of them. It'll do more than make true believers out of them. NASA said just a few days ago, they said just a few days ago, that by the year 2020, that we will definitely come in contact with aliens, beings from another planet. Now we're talking about scientists. We're talking about Darwin's crowd. We're talking about the crowd that threw the Bible out and said it's old, archaic, anachronistic. It doesn't belong today. We're talking about that bunch. We're too smart for the Bible. We're scientists. Yet this crowd is saying that in just a few years that they're going to know that that they're going to come in contact with alien beings. I thought to myself, my. You boys, have you always known that you've got a certain date set?
Want to know the best way to potentially make a big income online? It's by making lots of small incomes
There are no
online.
aliens out there.
All right, John,
Forget that
Paul,
stuff, okay?
Isaac,
There's nothing out there.
infamous.
You get into the third heaven, you get into the abode of God. There's nothing there. All these
story
UFOs,
is not getting a
spacecraft,
lot of
flying saucers, all this stuff, that's all. It's not real like we understand reality, but it's really demonic. I see deception beginning to develop. That in their analysis and in their laboratories that they believe in, that they've got their heart and soul tied up in, little things begin to show up, stuff that they can't explain, that sucks them in to begin
But they
to
produce the
understand
same
that maybe
effect there
this is
that we
being
want to
affected
reconstruct
here
here in the
by
laboratory
something that
under
we don't
controlled
understand
condition.
completely. And this spirit being that comes from out there, that comes down to this world, they accept with open eyes because they're willing to perceive us.
Forget that stuff, okay? There's nothing out there. You get into the third heaven, you get into the abode of God. There's nothing up there.
Smart, brilliant men. They're willing to believe
But they
there's
produce the same
something
effect
more
there
than what can be
that we
measured in
want
a
to
microscope.
reconstruct here in
You
the
can put it in a
laboratory
picture
under
dish.
controlled
But there's
conditions.
something going on, and you gotta believe it. There's something
It's the
going on.
muons that are long-lived. They
Now,
can
the spirit
penetrate through the
world
atmosphere down into the
that I
earth,
just preached to you
and
about.
we can measure them here 100 meters below the surface.
What about the physical world? Let's go
Believe
back
it
to
or not,
Hawking for a minute.
we're all hit by cosmic particles countless
said-
times every minute.
Remember, he's an atheist.
Here they're made
He doesn't
visible.
believe in spirits.
They're significantly higher energy than those that are produced in
He's
the
a dialectical materialist. He's a bullshit.
Oh, making some eggs, man.
He
Any eggs in there?
believes that what they're liable to do here in CERN, Switzerland, is unleash the gates of hell on this earth. The reason I took you Revelation is because in the 9th chapter of Revelation, what you just read,
No, he like eggs. He don't like.
Now
Revelation
they're
chapter
back
number
very
4,
low. My concern, it's not really concern,
when
but
he catches
they're
up with
saying they're
saints
going to
to lead them in
reach
the clouds, they're going
record levels of the energy.
but he will open the
Moment
gates
be it
of
powerful.
hell on this earth.
Dang,
But
damn.
And
I
according to
can't
Revelation
believe
chapter number 9, these beings are coming up out of the earth. If you remember when Saul rules, then
Here comes the
science,
last
their
video, guys.
technology,
Hold on. All right, guys, here goes the last one. I can't get it on the computer, so we're going to have to listen to it.
July
Hold on one
3rd,
second.
2022. As you're looking at live images tonight from CERN, again, it's the third here, but notice in the top left at the timestamp, because the universal time is ahead of us by about 5 or 6 hours, depending on the east or central, that it is July the 4th there at 0100 hours right now.
On there. Hold on. Let's see what's going on.
Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.
6:06 here, so they are technically 7 hours ahead of July the 3rd, 2022. As you're looking at live images tonight from CERN,
I'm going to drop this link in the chat so you guys can look at it.
Timestamp, because the universal time is ahead of us by about 5 or 6 hours, depending on the east or central, that it is July the 4th there at 0100 hours. Right now, 6:06 here, so they are technically 7 hours ahead of us in Central Time. What does that mean? That means they're saying on the 5th, which would be Tuesday to us, that they're going to run the highest power they've ever run at CERN. And you're going to see that it will actually still be the 4th here in the U.S. And well, I'm not sure, but they are celebrating that on July the 4th, 10 years ago, they discovered the Higgs boson particle called the God particle. So they're celebrating that. Again, I'm going to put some links in here.
You guys were right. I went to the ATM to try it for myself, and it totally worked for me.
No,
guys, y'all been telling me to do this for weeks.
That you can go and actually watch the 2-day celebration, and then they're going to end it with cranking up CERN. They're saying to the highest power they've ever used. And we're going to take a look at that article. But first, just so you understand what we're looking at here, this is live, and you're looking at 2-hour increments starting earlier of them running the blue and red beam 1 and beam 2, very high. 2 hours, drop it down for about an hour, 2 hours, keep it up, 2 hours here, and it was actually one before that. And then the black line takes over. What the black line is the power that both of these beams generate. In other words, once they get up to their level, you start seeing that power level increase. They have to get there and start doing their thing, and then the power gets up there. Right now, if you look at it, they are down. Nothing is overheated, but they're not getting a good injection from the beginning of the whole process, where they strip the electrons and stuff down and start the beams. And that's why you're seeing low levels on beam 1 and beam 2, and a short spike in the power, but now they're back very low. My concern, it's not really concern, but they're saying they're going to reach record levels of energy on the 5th, hour 4. But the numbers are really, I think they're off a little bit, because I've seen that much power, and you guys have seen that much power before. And if you look at this, let me just kind of draw a line across here. This is 7 tera electron volts right there, which is 7,000 gig electron volts. That's a little below the top of the scale. And so you can see they're nearly reaching that all day. But they want it sustained. But if you look back on about 2 or 3 videos of mine from CERN, you will see that they had sustained all of these blue and red lines, beam 1, beam 2, and the black line all the way across the board at this level.
Right.
So draw it across here. Make sure we're not getting too high right in there. And we're very close to 6.8, or if we're not breaking that, tera electron volts per beam. So you add that together. Say if you had 6,000 gig electron volts, or 6 TeV, tera electron volts, each beam, as they come around trying to get them to collide, you double that. So that would be if you're getting 6 tera-electron volts, you'd be getting 12 with the power from both of them. They've been getting stronger than that, even back in 2018 when they shut this down. Now, if you remember, we've looked at this particular chart several times, and a lot of times you'll see a beam in the middle, but remember, all of that's down right now. Your timestamp, again, they're in July the 4th at 1:12 UTC time. That's 1:12 a.m. in the morning there. And at 6:12 here, Central Time, that would be 7:12 on the East Coast. But there's no dots in here. There's no beams going right now. Now, let's go to what's called page 1, and it kind of gives you the last few hours of what we were looking at on the project page with all the spikes that we saw every 2 hours. But you can see that the black line is very low in power. The red line is at 0. The blue line is not even showing. What are they saying here? It says beams, bottom left, beam unstable in booster. Next scrubbing will be with 2 times 72 BPI. Now, beam is unstable in the booster. What does that mean? The booster is when, if I'm not mistaken, some of you guys may know more about this than I do. But again, when they are stripping back the electrons, protons, whatever it is that they have to create these beams and then supercharge them in this booster, they are unstable there. Maybe because they've been practicing really hard lately for this run that they're going to try to impress the world with. Now, will that be strictly for fundraising, or will it be in the sense that they know they're going to reach much higher power than what they're talking about? Because I've seen them spike at the power that we're about to read about. Guys, the way you get there is very easy. Go to our website, dpearthwatch.com. You can check out a lot of different things. But again, you realize that they're shutting down the diesel, they're shutting down fertilizer, they're shutting down gasoline, shutting down everything. So you do not want to be in a field.
Well, here's a story that's not getting a lot of attention.
They're saying to the highest power they've ever used. And we're going to take a look at that article. First, just
got it. Hold on, guys. I got it.
This is live, and you're looking at 2 hours.
A year and a day. All right, hold on.
I'm running the blue and red beam 1 and beam 2. Very high. 2 hours, drop it down for about an hour. 2 hours, keep it up. 2 hours here, and it's actually
I had to take it from one account, send it to the email. Got it though. Hold on. I'm gonna take it back a minute. So you guys can see what he was saying. This video is short. It's only about 15 minutes.
Start moving. Gets up there. Right now. Two hours starting earlier of them running the blue and red beam 1, 2, very high. 2 hours, drop it down for about an hour. 2 hours, keep it up. 2 hours here, and it was actually one before that. And then the black line takes over. What the black line is the power that both of these beams generate. In other words, once they get it up to their level, we start seeing that power level increase. They have to get there and start doing their thing, and then the power gets up there. Right now, if you look at it, they are down. Nothing is overheated, but they're not getting a good injection from the beginning. Prime and stuff down and start the beams, and that's why you're seeing low levels on beam 1 and they're back. It's not really concerned, but they're saying they're going to reach record levels of energy on the 5th. Are really I think they're off a little bit because I've seen that much power, and you just kind of draw a line across here. This is 7 electron volts.
Let's give it a second. It was trying to kick me out, guys. I want to hold on, and then we're gonna press the play again. Yes, brother. That's why I'm doing this. They're powering up tomorrow. I'm doing the fast, guys. You guys need to at least do a 24-hour fast. I don't know how many of y'all gonna be doing all this 4th of July celebration, crazy crap, but I know everybody deals with family because everybody be off work either way, whether you celebrating or not. So this is a chill, relaxed day. I suggest, you don't try to, fill yourself up, eat very lightly. Make sure that you're on your P's and Q's. Try to go to bed and drinking lots of water today. Trying to purify yourself with a lot of different chemicals and things, because these are things that are going to be affecting your body when they do this, because this is affecting with protons, neutrons, and electrons, which is what you are. So that's very important to remember. So keep that in mind. All right, guys, let's finish this out, and I'll be ending this after this. Just a moment. Oh, and if anyone wanted to come up, let me drop the link, just in case. I did have said it would be open discussion. I'll give a few minutes for anybody to talk about whatever they'd like to speak on with this. After the video, we got about 9 more minutes of that, and yeah, we'll go from there.
That's a little below the top of the scale. And so you can see they're nearly reaching that all day, but they want it sustained. But if you look back on about 2 or 3 videos of mine, they had red lines, beam 1, beam 2, and the black line all the way across the board at this level. Just kind of we draw it across here. We're getting 200, and we're close to 6.8, or if we're not breaking that, tera electron volts per beam. So you add that 6,000 giga electron volts, or 6 TeV, tera electron volts. Each beam, as they come around the collide, you add would, if you're getting 6 tera electron volts, you'd be getting 20. Stronger than that, and shut this down. Now, if you remember, we've looked at this particular your times, and they're in July the 4th, 1 UTC time, 1:12 a.m. in the morning. There, 6:12 Central Time. That would be 7:12 on the East Coast. No dots in here. There's no beams going right now. Now let's go to what's called page 1, and it kind of gives you the last few hours of what we were looking at on the project page with all the spikes that we saw every 2 hours. But you can see that the black line is very low in power. The red line is at 0. The blue line is not even showing. What are they saying here? It says beams, bottom left, beam unstable in booster. Next scrubbing will be at time 7. Now, beam is unstable in the booster. What does that mean? The booster is taking protons, whatever it is that they have to create these beams and then supercharge them in this booster. They are unstable there. Maybe because they've been practicing really hard lately for this run that they're going to try to impress the world with. Now, will that be strictly for fundraising, or will it be in the sense that they know they're going to reach much higher power than what they're talking about? Because I've seen them spike at the power that we're about. Let's go to their site. And guys, the way you get there is very easy. Go to our
it shows all the time. We over here, brother. I think I see you. I didn't shout you this. I think this is my first time seeing you over here. Respect and love and honors to you, your presence as well. Now, as we definitely do believe in manifestation, bro. You know, we have manifested over here. We manifested some things that are actually going on currently with us right now. So there's a lot of good things that can happen when doing that. Fasting is, you know, it's not like even a ritual or anything. It's just something we need to do. Keep your system clean to make sure that you're handling yourself in a proper manner. Because if you're not, up all type of it. Same thing. You know, your protons, neutrons, and electrons that are within you. These things are the same things that they're playing with, trying to get this so-called GMO bang theory. So when doing that, that affects us. It affects us in our system. And this is why it's important to make sure you're as clean as possible and purifying yourself with things so that you're not affected by this. So it is important. So wanted to say that. So let's really get this information, because keeping in mind we are behind the times per se when it comes to the European standards and the things that they do. This is why this what do you call it? Daylight savings time and things of that nature happen, because it's to throw off everything. Time. If you were listening to the prior videos talking about the time and how everything is affecting everything as well, and the timelines, the portals, the dimensions we're in, so on and so forth. Like, this stuff is so important. We talk about this all the time, so you guys got to really be paying attention. Sometimes you may miss a live or a video, but there is pertinent information. Whether you're like, oh, this is boring, sister's not talking about anything, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't have that piece of information, you're not going to be able to pull it together with everything else that we've been doing with the dissemination. If you know, we've been doing the dissemination for like 3 months. Everything I told you when we started was going to relate. We have a lot to do with, you know, the whole gist of everything, exposing the reconstruction, the theatrics, the history, the lies, the indigenous, aboriginal, Indian, whatever you want to call that information, the original man, so on and so forth, showing the information of the whole entire planisphere being actually one continent, the great America spirit. America, Russia, America, Asia, America, period, North, South, East, Asia, America, Russia, America. Once again, you know, all these areas, the conglomeration of these people actually creating these falsities and these so-called continents and countries from one particular falsified nation. So it's like so much. So, I mean, I can't really go over all that information. That's why I do videos, so you guys can see this stuff yourself. I don't try to put anything in your head. I don't want to impose my thoughts on anyone. You know, I've had run-ins with people that, I don't know, the love, I guess, of the hate, you know, themselves, the love they have for the information they may gain from me, but they like to belittle it, or, you know, make it seem impertinent to, you know, what I'm trying to show people, because they're most of the times agents. You know, we have entities that work through these people. They don't even know they're being used. They don't even know they're being manipulated by the ether, by the Christos, the spirit energy that is the falsified energy of the true you, the self, the ether, the true nature of organic being that is, you know, here, period. Shit. So, yeah, I don't want to get into that and keep talking, but yeah, like I said, you have to like really watch everything to see how these things break down. So I just want you guys to pay attention to actually what he's saying now as to what's going to be going on now this evening, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock in the evening is going to be 5 o'clock tomorrow morning for them. So that's kind of what's going to be going on. No, I'm lying. It's not. Hold on. It's 5 hours different. So if it's 5 o'clock, it'll be midnight, around midnight for us. This will be starting. So just pay attention. Just a moment.
It's very easy. Go to our website, bpearthwatch.com. You can check out a lot of different things. But again, you realize the diesel, the fertilizer, the shutting down everything. So it has always been about water, food, and backup power. Right, survival food here. #1 companies, all three. Alexa Pure water filters, #1 in the world. And we happen to be the ones that invent, build, and distribute the Alexa Pure, Flowmax video. It's an improvement on the filter. So here you've got backup power when the grid goes down. You've got food because the shelves are about to go bare because of the diesel, and you've got to have water. Without water, you have nothing that matter. Electricity that does not matter. Nothing matters without water. You're 98% water, if I'm not mistaken. You got to have it in your body. So go there and check that out. And guys, I've always used these. We don't talk about ads much. I don't every 5 minutes in a video and talk about it. Every few months you may see me do it, but your survival, because that's everything down. They're going to force you into going along with their program, taking the mark of the beast so that you eat. And all of that will be based on your social demand, like your last 5 years of all of your media there, regardless of what medium, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. And just like they're going to do now to get permits for certain things in certain states, they're going to look at your social media record. You don't want to be involved in that because they're trying to take out about 80% of the population. But again, these 3 things that you're seeing at the top are things that you can survive with. You will not want to be in a city. The taxes are about to go up to where you will own nothing and be happy according to their standards. And so if you're living in a city, and especially places there's one way in, one way out, like a cul-de-sac, think about how easy that car one way out. And then in the big cities, when you got 5 bridges to get you out of certain parts of New York, you're trapped. Remember the movie Escape from LA and Escape from New York? Guys, that's what's about to happen. Now, if you scroll down on the left, you're going to see a tremendous amount of links. These articles on the right, Tina, every 2 days, all of these are updated, very good articles. Here, earthquakes, weather service, hurricanes, come down, space weather, solar ham, SETI, and CERN. CERN, let's go there and look at the news on this. Now, that's going to bring you here.
You're exactly right, sister. But we're talking a little bit about what they're planning tomorrow. I kind of started off earlier in the video about how CERN was actually built, when they started showing the, the facility, things of that nature. What's going on is with them actually smashing the particles with this is going to be the largest amount they've ever used. So we don't know. Rod Hayes is not God, sweetheart. I know a lot of things he says sounds great, but we could take the meat and bones from that as well. I've reached out to the brother to have conversation with him. He reached back. He said, he was open to, a discussion, and I haven't heard back from him. So, I'm not really sure about him. I haven't had time to speak with him personally. I've seen videos, a lot of that I can speak on, and a lot I'm not. So I'm going to leave that alone because I don't like drama. I don't like the he say, she say, or any of that. So unless I have an opportunity to speak with the gentleman myself, hey, it is what it is. He has a lot of good things to say. He has a lot of pertinent things to say, a lot of factual things he talks about. I can be in agreement with. And there's some things, I'd like to talk to him about. I haven't had the opportunity, so I won't say anything negative until having a chance to speak with him. But neither here nor there. The effects of this, what they're using, because these are the same things, they will affect us ionically, electromagnetically. The ionosphere is a part of us. Anything that affects it affects us. So we just have to be careful. This is why I'm doing this. I spoke on us fasting. Yes, sis. Much love, babe. You know, we need to fast. We need to make sure we are preparing ourselves so our body, if it does affect our body in any type of way, we're able to handle it. You know, being well equipped spiritually is, you know, dealing with your body as well. So we're thinking about the mind, the body, and the soul. The mind is your brain. It's thinking components, all of that that's affected with certain chemicals, biochemicals, things of that nature. You know, Sister Copper Alma joined me on the live, and we were talking about how all these cows were dead in this field. And I was telling her that there was a biochemical lab that was near there. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? So we have to be so aware. But the main thing, babe, we got to make sure that we are just, you know, having ourselves ready, prepared. We need to do this on a daily, like all the time. You know, we talk about this all the time, fasting, trying to manifest our atmosphere to the proper balance and things that it needs to be. You know, I don't have a lot of activity. I would love, you know, a multitude of us to do a manifestation, and it'd be awesome. You know, I was on the Big Dog Phillies panel, and he gave me the opportunity to speak to them about this briefly and let them know this was going on, and that people should be fasting themselves, you know, to start what they, started then. You know, I'm speaking to you guys today about this. I haven't had a chance to do this live, but I'm speaking to you guys today about it, so you're aware of it, so you can try and prepare yourself just so you're, physically fit and able to understand. So I just want you guys to be on point. You know, anytime I think about anything, sis, I want you guys to be aware, and not just you. And I'm not just trying to pinpoint you in the chat because you said that, but making everyone aware, how important this is. Yes, but this one is supposedly, this one, mind you, I wanted to say this too. I'm glad sis said that. Thank you. With this guy, keeping in mind, this is the original accelerator, the largest one, and the multitude of what they use is what's very important. So with that, keeping in mind, we are in a position of this not being open for the past 4 years, 3.5 years, about 3.5 years. So since it has not been operating for the past 3.5 years, if you notice, there's been a heightened or sense of awareness when people are coming into awakeness, being aware, enlightened, so on and so forth. All these different things coming into themselves. Coming into the true light of information and your understanding things. All of that has been going on, since this thing's been shut down in 2018, if you hadn't thought of that. So that's a very important or pertinent thing. So now with this being accelerated, the mind, body, and soul, the whole trinity of things that's not in a complete balance, this could affect, even enlightened people. Information. I'm not going to claim it, but it could. I said it's a possibility. So we're just saying that's why we're aware and awake. I'm woke. I'm thinking about it. I'm aware that it could possibly affect us. So we have to be astute to that and making sure that we are doing what we need to do to be on point. You feel me? Yeah, boy. You feel me? That's my bro. That's right, Tony. We gonna make sure we on point, regardless to what, even if it's a small thing, anything that affects us in a minimal way. We want to make sure that we rise above that. I don't even want a decimal, a cell, a particle of water in my body to be affected negatively, changed, altered in any type of way. They've been doing this forever, the blending of the black seed. We went over the miscegenation. If you haven't seen that video, miscegenation, blending of the black seed, all of that, showing you exactly what happened to our gene pool. So affecting it biochemically, and all these things that have happened with us with nanoparticles, Morgellons, these things that affect our actual physical body. You know what I'm saying? So we got to make sure we're on point with keeping ourselves aware. Yes, please like, share. I got to start saying this. A couple of my sisters keep telling me, don't forget. And it is important to like, to share, and to subscribe to the channel, guys, because when I come up here, I'm definitely making sure I give you some type of information that I feel is important. It may not be important to you, may not be important to, what you think is important in life, but it's definitely pertinent to our existence, or I wouldn't take the time to share it. I really don't even have time to do this. This video was so important to me that I wanted to get out here and do it, because I'm actually not going to have time to do, lives more as frequently for at least the next couple of weeks. I got a lot going on. I need to handle my business and, doing all these studies. I've studied so many years that I could just talk about so much stuff, but I don't have the time to do it all the time. So what I'm going to do is make sure I'm handling things the best way that I can. So give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll be right back. All right, guys. So y'all know what it is. All the babies, they be wanting to chill and relax for the day. Cook, eat, get their little sip on, whatever, chilling, relaxing, and I'm right there with them. So yeah, I got to get ready to get out of here and get my little calls. But I want to finish this up. We're going to finish the rest of the video, and then I wanted to elaborate just a little bit, but I see nobody jumped up, so great. You guys are just taking the information in, and we're going to leave it at that. But it's so freaking important, guys, that we are on point and making ourselves, do what we need to do. So let's finish this video out. We got about 6 more minutes of it.
There's a lot of good information here on how the equipment works. Look at under this 17-mile long tunnel where they collide these beams inside this. They have to keep them at the temperature of outer space, just so that it can run information. But if you click here on the arrow and go to the latest, this article here, join CERN and Historic Particle Physics Week. Click there. It says tune in to celebrate 10 years of Higgs research at the LHC with CERN on the 3rd and 4th of June. If you hunger for satisfied state of witness, the start of Run 3. That's the title of the video at the LHC on July 5th. Again, that will be the 4th here. And they're saying that the LHC, the Large Hadron Collider,
Hey, see this video, and that would be a tragedy. Why is that? Well,
of July. If you hunger for physics, hasn't been satisfied, stay to witness the start of Run 3. That's the title of the video at the LHC on July 5th. Again, that will be the 4th here. And they're saying that LHC, the Large Hadron Collider, is set to break a new energy world record on July the 5th. CERN is set for jam-packed, exciting days starting on the 3rd. Discovery of the Higgs boson. So all of it is going on now. A lot of you know it because that question. It's a scientific symposium on July 4th and ending on a high note on July 5th. So remember that, with collisions at LHC marking the launch of a new physics session at CERN's flagship accelerator. Be it physically at CERN, I invite you to join us in celebrating past and present achievements for particle physics and science, as well as looking ahead to how CERN is preparing for future research. Again, don't know if it's a fun or getting to watch and witness something. We'll just have to see. This is 10 years ago on July 4th, 2012. Packed CERN auditorium watched the Atlas of
Sis, I have to say this real quick. I really appreciate that. I have to make sure I let you guys know how much I appreciate the love when I get it. There's like so much love, hate in this YouTube community street that the emotions are so, just uneasy and chaotic when it comes to me dealing with some people. So I have to keep in mind that, I continue to still do it and persevere past all the hatred and the animosity, the jealousy, the envy. I know it's a lot of that. It's so much real love for me. They'll have the love for me so bad that they confuse it with hate. So they don't know how to react with it, because instead of being acceptive of me, because I'm very receptive of any and everybody, instead of being receptive of me, they'll find ways to oppose things against me. I've even been called like dumb, stupid. I don't have information. I'm stealing other people's information. I'm listening like pretty much most of these people. I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I love, and I have to state that it's so appreciated when it's noted that I'm not wasting my time, which I know I'm not. I wouldn't be doing it because I really don't have time to waste to just give away on YouTube for free. I've asked for a cash app here and there. I don't hound people, but people don't, send cash apps. I'll see people that sitting up there having these entertainment channels. They be getting cash apps. I'm like, dang, it would be nice if somebody, did something for me. So I'll mention it here and there, but I don't hound people, and I still give all the love. I still take my time, my studies, and information, put it together for people because that's what's important. It is nice though to be appreciated. So I definitely got to shout you out for that, sis. I really appreciate that. And I hope that they're enjoying the information as well. And as I said, it's just information. It doesn't belong to me most of the time. I do share my thoughts, my feelings, my insight, my spiritual insight as well. I'm continuing to work on myself like we all do. I talk about things that I want people to be aware of for themselves, including myself. the things that I need to work on, I talk about as well. You know, building myself, building my character, building up my patience. I have physical incapabilities due to a head injury, so I can't control some things, but there are some things I can even control with that. And I don't take the power to do that. So there's a weakness in me, you know, so there's things I have to work on. So we all have things. So I continue to, you know, bring things up that I hope will help to edify, enhance, enlighten, make something lighter for someone else's load. Even when mine's heavy, because I got like a heavy one right now. I got like bricks and shit on my shoulder, my back, my neck, my head, like for real. But I'm still persevering, and I always do. And I'm going to make sure that anyone else that I can help to do that, that happens for them as well. So let's finish looking at this, guys. Just want to take time to note not only Darlene Moore, the sister that stated that, but everybody else that I get the same energy from, even if it hasn't been expressed that same way. I appreciate you. You guys always know that. It's always love to my chat. Always. Just a moment.
The celebrations of the LHC, which restarted back on April, we saw that, will reach a new energy world record of 13.6 trillion electron volts. Guys, we saw this all through 2018. On videos already this year, we've seen both of these beams get very or tera-electron volts, or 7 trillion electron volts. Either way, very close to 14. So there's something that's not exactly quite right to me, and I may be wrong, but are they going to, is it because they're going to sustain that for much longer to go in effect, or whatever Stargate or opening that they're trying to do, whatever it is that what gonna just what happened? Kind of like mad scientists. It says the event, again called Run 3, will be streamed live on multiple platforms. In the culmination of more than 3 years of work, that's when they quit in 2018 or shut it down, when they had reached away. It will, the 3 years of work to push the performance of the collider and its 4 main detectors to their limits. So since 2018, they've been saying they're working on things to improve them. The higher quality data samples collected by the LHC experiments will allow scientists to continue stress testing the standard model of particle physics. Wow. If they discovered 20 different types of Higgs boson or boson, what are they going to do about it? Taxpayer money from around the world, including here, including every college, probably some high schools that are into advanced science. Money's going to billions and billions of dollars to build what we were looking at in those pictures and to pay the people. And by the way, if you're tax exempt, unlike any place or place. It's something that all of our money goes to that has no constructive outcome at all. You see civilizations try to build these big machines or atomic bombs or whatever, then is that at the end game? We don't know yet, but I had questions about it. You can see right here, remote attendance from around the world. Is possible at the full symposium. And it
up. Give it a second, guys. We're gonna start it back. I paused it.
Invention to me, it will be interesting to see the effects on our magnetosphere, other things when they do crank this thing up. And it will be interesting to watch if they're going to actually start showing some of the particle beams in this webcast as they're trying to reach this record they're saying is a record, when I've seen it higher than that, and you guys have too. What will happen? Will they show us again visions like some of the information we look at here? Don't know. We don't know yet. It could be very interesting though. So I will put the link to the symposium right here, or you can come here and click on it yourself. But that's what I know about it. And my concerns are, again, that we have 13.8 teraelectron volts before. So is it for a very long period of time? They sustain that to where everything that it affects, including the magnetopause, the magnetosphere, our shields, is just crumbling and weakening? We know the overall agenda is not good for mankind over the last 2 years, right? Right. Anyway, I'll put the link below, guys. It's a heads up. Be safe.
All right, guys. So I did not want to get into a long.
Today I'm going to reveal 2 types of protein.
Bit of information on this. I definitely want you guys to see this. Make sure you guys are aware. Making sure you're just preparing yourselves mentally. Cleansing yourselves. Just making sure your body doesn't go through anything extreme. Along with certain things aligning in the solar system, so there could be a certain type of alignment going on with your body. So if the solar is supposedly having some changes, maybe this is why they're accelerating this at this particular time, because as you know, this is what's going on as well for this time period. There's supposed to be everything with all of the planets aligning. There's supposed to be like huge portals opening today. So like literally, you guys know how I feel about that. So, I don't want to get into a conversation. We're already 2 hours in, but keeping in mind that all the planets are supposedly aligning, right? Whether you believe in planets, the solar, the cosmos, which is actually you when we're thinking about the planets aligning. So you're thinking about this large CERN Hadron Collider that's colliding the protons, neutrons, and electrons, which is you, right? Just pay attention. Colliding you, colliding the system, and with the planets aligning, the planets, the chakras, the internal system, arising the Christos, bringing that energy. So what is that Christos? That Christos coming to effect is the atomic energy at the pit of your spine. When it rises, that is the Christ oil, the secretion. So the Christos oil is exactly what is going on with the alignment of the planets. You hear them talking about, oh, the planets are aligning. Oh, that's going on. Oh, the solar system, the universe, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the universe, right? The solar, the soul, the soul's air, which is the spirit, aligning in the universe. The universe. Let me pull some of these batteries up to help us get this real quick, because I got a few minutes to make sure you're getting what I'm saying. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go through a couple of things here. So you, this is literal. You generates electricity. Ni is the water that is at home, which is the body, the copper-colored burst. The copper-colored burst, it's the body, the water that's at home. So you is the electricity that's within the body. And it's the area of activation, the Christos, or the rising of the chakras into the pineal gland, right? So when you're thinking about that, those are the things that are going on. So we have the secretion and the Christ arising, the Christos that I'll tell you guys about. Hi, Booty. Yes, baby. The Christ oil that we see when it comes to it enlightening our penile, the crowning, which remember they told you about the corona crowning of the sun. The sun is what? You are the sun, the walking sun, the light, the true light, the plasma energy, right? So now the opening of the chakras and the crowning, which is what? The aligning of the chakras, which is the aligning of the planets they keep talking about, right? So this is something that is going on within the body. And then we were thinking about them affecting it with CERN. Why would they particularly want to be opening it at the particular time that the planets are aligning, that the density in the body is becoming something different and anew, the rising, the dying of old cells and the renewing or the replenishing of new cells. That sounds kind of like the Christ rising and dying and the rebirth, doesn't it? Is that the rebirth of the mind, body, and spirit? The alignment, right? Did you guys see the video on 144? Did you guys check that out? That shows you a lot of people don't get the chakra information. You can call it what you want, but there's something that is going on with the body. There's a physical tree within you. That tree has certain electrons and neurons that actually make everything function within the body. So these are the chakra elements. As it replenishes, as it grows. Listen, don't let me get into all that, y'all, because we ain't going to extend this live too long, because I ain't going to keep going over stuff I've been showing y'all forever, just because y'all don't want to take time to watch my videos because y'all don't think they're important. But these things are happening, and this is what they're doing. So now we're thinking about them banging the particles, right? Charging electrons, making everything happen and fluctuate around us. When they're talking about this, the protons, the neutrons, the electrons, all this stuff, they're talking about us, right? So this is going to be happening, and you need to make sure that you're ready to be receptive to that. You have to be receptive to the energy. You have to be receptive to whatever it is that is going to be able to stand strong against anything that is opposing you. So this is going to be opposing you. It's going against you, so on and so forth. All right, let me check my chat real quick, because y'all know I'll get the run in my mouth. Yes, it's definitely. We need to keep our heads on a correct swivel base. Appreciate it, brother. I'm glad you enjoyed the topic. I think it's pertinent to knowing that we need to be prepared because there's attack. You know, we've been going through a spiritual warfare for a long time now. Now, this is going on with the so-called planets aligning. So there's something going on in the ether, in the electromagnetism, in the air that will affect us positively. So something has to go against that, right? So if something goes against that, that opposes what is in nature. So there goes the GMO, Big Bang Theory, that they could not imitate in all actuality because they don't have the room to sufficiently create that atmosphere. This is it's crazy. Yeah. Oh, nothing to do with time travel. No, not time travel, bro. I don't know what you mean about the time travel. But yeah, definitely not. Fermilab, one that's in Illinois, Fermilab, 6 locations. I think there's a lot of, quite a few. There's a lab in where they're doing that so-called fake-ass war at. Hunter Biden has a lab over there where they was holding, I just told you guys about the other day, they had like 1,000 people down there, the so-called Russian war over there. The guys picked up, went in the underground tunnel and actually freed all these people. Yes. So yes. Get EMF blockers if you can, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Into the soil. Yes, it's get grounded in the soil. Make sure you're on some good, proper soil. Make sure you're cleansed. Take a bath, a spiritual bath. Sis keep telling me, sis, do your spiritual bath. You always talking about this, that. I tell you, I'll never take time to handle myself and do what I need to do, but I'm going to be doing some things today. Trying to take care of everybody else. I need to take a little more time for myself. This is why I get so disorientated and annoyed. Who said something about swivel? I don't know if she meant swivel. I read somebody's comment. What did she say? She said that I agree that we all need to keep our heads. I don't know what she meant by swivel, but I'm sure she meant that we need to keep our heads straight. Making sure that we're on point and we're level-headed. Being able to, sway with what's going on. I'm assuming. So yeah. But either way, bro, that was just her thought. It's not a big deal. We didn't have to point it out, and I just read it like she wrote it, so it's not a big deal. But either way, yeah, guys, we have to make sure that we are getting ourselves prepared, keeping our minds right, and so on and so forth. And if you missed something else, Darlene, and I misinterpreted, that's why I hate texting. I told you guys to jump up here because when you talk, I can know where you're coming from. I get a little lost sometimes with the reading a comment because it never comes across with the true emotion and meaning. You can't express it the way you want to. So, but yeah. Yeah, guys, much love, peace, blessings, be safe today. If you guys do drink or what have you, make sure you're light on that, not doing too much, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'll be chatting with you guys whenever. Curious Peace, brother. I don't know if I shouted you out. I think I saw you earlier, but I'm not sure. MAGA, peace, peace, peace. Get a child clinic, peace. You already know. Yeah, guys. All right, guys. Peace, love, and I am out. Have a good one.